All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Thursday, May 14th. For those of you who don't know, people in Airdrie can finally go get a haircut. So this is the first time I've actually felt like myself. I have a nice short haircut again, so life is good. Uh, Looking forward to today's call today. I really wanted to break down the receiver position a little bit more. We've talked about certain routes. We've talked about how to read defenses. But one thing I haven't really done is really got into the technical side of how to play receiver and some things that I think we should talk about. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. It might be a quicker call. I have a bit of a different format today, trying something a little bit new. But let's hop right in. So I have a huddle cut up here that I'm going to pull on over, and we're going to watch that. So first things first I want to talk about is a receiver stance, okay? So let's roll the tape a little bit here. And we're going to talk about stance and starts. So right here we have a player standing on the line of scrimmage. So this is at the wideout spot. If you're playing slot back, I tend to have my slot back start about 10 yards back and make sure they're hitting the line right at the line of scrimmage, but that's going to depend on the system you run. But for wideouts, I want my wideouts on the line. First thing that's really important is the foot closest to the quarterback is up. Okay, so we're open towards the sidelines. Foot up, outside foot back, and you want to put about 70% of your weight on your front foot. So if you look at this player right here, so a couple of things. Okay, right here we have, he's leaning head over toes, putting his weight right on his front foot, 70% of it on the front foot. Okay, head over toes, he's got a nice lean. So one thing to talk about here, okay, notice that he's down a little bit lower like a sprinter. The reason why I want you to start all your routes like this is because if you're standing straight up, the first step you have to do is go down and then out. This way you can just shoot out, okay, and that's what I want. So one other thing here, and it's just a habit that some people have. Some people don't have their hands up unless there's a guy here in press coverage. I like our receivers to be ready to go and ready to fight right away. So even if there is nobody covering you, even if there's not a press defender on you, I like my receivers to have their hands up and ready to go. The biggest reason why is it creates muscle memory, right? You want the muscle memory of doing everything the same all the time. That way, you don't have to think about it. It becomes second nature. When you're impressed, when you're not impressed, your hands are up, you're ready to go, okay? Notice this right here. He's loading that back foot, okay? So we should be almost rolling into this start here, rolling into it. We don't want to put this heel back on the ground to go forward. We just want to roll with it. We can lose about half a second to a second if we take that bucket step, right? So a lot of times receivers will put that foot down and then go forward. It takes a little bit too much time, and on a timing route or something where even half a second matters, we can lose some time here. So hands are up, ready to fight. Eyes are turned in, looking and watching the ball. I know you have snap counts, but we still need to watch the ball and get ready to go and then make a move, okay? So that's stance. What I really like, a drill for this, it's a drill you can do on your own or with a coach. Coaches, I'd like to run this about once a week. So what I do is I get my receivers down into basically a sprinter start. So like you're running a 40 or like you're running a 100-meter dash, okay? Right? So we get down there, get comfortable, and then prop back up, okay? So start low, get your feet about shoulder width apart, load your foot, 70% of your weight on the front foot, pop up. Notice this receiver's ready to go, ready to fight. This one is not. So I like this better. This guy is a better model to follow. Okay, and then you're just gonna burst out of there, okay? We should do this about probably 5 or 10 times. Just do this as a bit of a warm-up to go. Receivers, you should be practicing this on your own anyway. It's a really good technique to make sure we get rid of bucket steps. Like if you watch this one receiver here, notice right here, this heel never touches the ground. It never comes back down. So he's not taking a bucket step. All his momentum's going forward, and his first couple of steps are getting downfield. Okay, and like I said, run that 5 or 6 times per player. You know, you could do it on your own if you're a receiver and you want to work on getting a little bit better at everything. Okay, so that's our start. And now I want to talk about the start of a route. Okay, so when we start a route, some things I want everybody to keep in mind. Okay, no matter what route we're running, the start of the route looks the same. It has the same feel, it has the same smell, it has the same look, and that is of a vertical route. So something I want all receivers and even all quarterbacks to know is that it's a vertical route until it's not. Understand, I'll say it again, it's a vertical route until it's not. So we want to sell everything like we're going deep. A DB's worst nightmare is to have the top taken off and to give up a touchdown. So they are super paranoid about not letting the deep cover go. So we need to take advantage of that. So every time we start running a route, we need to put the fear in God of the DBs that we're going to take them deep. If everything looks like a vertical route, then they need to backpedal, and that'll create space. The whole part of route running, the whole part of being a receiver, the most important thing that we can do to help ourselves is create space, right? So if you make it look like you're running a 40-yard dash 9 and you're going to burn them and go as fast as you can, that's going to force the DB to back up more. So if we have an underneath off that, if we have hooks, outs, stigs, or sticks, it'll give us more space to make that catch, okay? Keep in mind, that's what we want to do. We want to get the DB to give us space, give us respect, to fear the deep ball. If you can't throw a deep ball, or if you don't make it look like they're running deep, don't expect the DB to give you space, right? But if you act like a threat all the time, you will get more space all the time. So I've cut up 3 routes. We're going to have a look at the beginning of them, and then I'm going to show you the full route. So again, everything is a vert until it's not. Remember that. Okay, so we're going to watch this inside receiver here. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So pumping his arms. He's got a good start. Making it look like he's going deep, right? So right here, number 15, I know it's not man coverage, but we're still trying to get, even if it's zone coverage, we want them to give us respect and backpedal. If we're running anything underneath here, we want to get that guy out of dodge. So we need to sell the deep route. Let's go to play number 2 here. Okay, similar look. We're going to have a 3 receiver concept on the bottom. Okay, we're going to watch this receiver here. 1, 2, 3 after the ball. Again, selling it deep. Okay? Everything looks like a vert until it's not, right? That's going to help this 77 give a lot more respect to back off and get a lot deeper. Okay? That's what we're looking to do. Okay, play number 3, we're going to be at the top of the screen here. If you look at the top here, okay? Okay, same sort of look, right? Now look at all the space that defender's giving that receiver, okay? We're pumping our arms, we're exploding out, we're making it look like we're getting a deep football, okay? Even down low here, you can see this player here selling it deep, right? Out of those 3 plays, they all finish 3 different formats. They're all 3 different plays, but they all start the same. All 3 of those plays look like they're going deep. Now, if we run this a little bit, let's watch play number 1 to the full, okay? Now, we just watched it before, okay? 1, 2, 3, and it's actually a hitch, right? So now we've given ourselves some room, given ourselves some space. Okay, we backed off defenders by making it look like it's going deep. Okay, if you watch number 2 here, I think he could have done a much better job selling it deep, and that's why number 23 is kind of watching him a little bit closer. But that inside receiver makes it look like he's going deep the whole time. Okay, play number 2, same sort of thing, right? He's going to make it, we're looking at this receiver here. He's going to make it look like he's going deep. Okay, arms are pumping, we're going, foot in the ground, and comes back to the ball. Okay, I would have liked him to take an extra step back, but that's okay. Those starts are what give respect, right? This player looks like it's going deep. He's going to respect that it's going deep, and we're going to cut it off. Okay, then if we move to our last one here, okay, play 3. We're looking at this top receiver here again. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And this is actually a go route, right? So they all have the same look and feel to them, right? So as a defender, you don't really get a tell, you don't really get a look until somebody has to make a break. So this is one way we can build space for ourselves and build cushions for ourselves by running routes all the same, okay? If you can successfully complete a vertical pass or you can successfully run a vertical route, it gives you credibility and the defense has to respect that. So if you look at the top there, look how much of a cushion right here. If we were running a hitch, we now have given ourselves 5 yards by making those steps right? So if we were to break it off right here, put our foot in the ground and come back to the quarterback for a 6-yard play, we've given ourselves a 5-yard cushion. And the way we've given ourselves a 5-yard cushion is simply by running our routes hard and making everything look like a vertical. So that's the most important part of starting your route. At the start of your route, everything is a deep route. Everything is about to burn a defender deep. Okay, moving on, I want to talk about so how we can get here. Let me get to the next clip here. Made a nice catch. So talking about the catch now. So we've talked about the start of the route. Now I'm going to talk about the art of catching a football. Okay, and not the stuff that we've talked about before, but the first thing I want to talk about is catching a football at its highest point. Okay, I'll just wait for Marshall and Shane to hop on here. Good to see you guys. Welcome, Marshall and Shane. Okay, what we're looking at right now is the catch. Okay, so I want to look at catching the ball at its highest point. This gives us the best chance of coming down with the catch. You need to have your eyes focused on the ball, use your hands, and look at the ball into your tuck, eyes to tuck, eyes to tuck. When it's one-on-one, look to move the opposite side of your body once you catch the ball to defend the ball from the defender. Okay, so let's watch a couple of these clips, and then I'm going to show you a drill that can help you accomplish this. Okay, so we're catching at the highest point. A couple of really nice clips here. We've got some really strong receivers. This kid, it's funny that I'm using Blaze for so much teach tape, but he had a lot of really good fundamentals. Him and Reed Jensen had some of the best technique at catching a high ball that I've seen in a while, and it's no surprise you're going to see them both on these clips. But right here, so Blaze, ball is in the air. Now, his eyes are on the football, his hands go up, and he's catching the ball at the highest point. Okay, why this is important? This defender is actually not in a bad position. He's about half a step behind. But if Blaze is going to let the ball drop down here before he catches it, this player has a chance to move his arm over and come over and make a play at it. But because Blaze attacks the football at its highest point here, he can make that catch over top of the defender's head and the defender can't break it up. Okay? Super key is his eyes, right? His eyes are on the football coming down with it. Okay? Catch its football at its highest point. Okay, let's watch another clip here. Same sort of concept. I believe it's this receiver that we're going to be watching. Okay. Running at 8. The ball is underthrown. Reed will come back and attack the ball at its highest point. Okay. Now, in this case, this isn't a particularly well thrown football. It's thrown into double coverage, and really, we shouldn't actually be making a very good play here. You know, it's we've got a corner, we've got a chase, and the ball is underthrown. But because we work at catching the football at its highest point, Reed's eyes are on the football, he out jumps other people, and he catches it with his hands. Okay, now at the very end of this, if you could watch, as he's coming down with the football, he's going to rotate his body, okay? What that's going to do is it's going to help keep the ball away from a defender being able to swat it out, right? You see this a lot more in the pros. You'll see people catch it on the right side of the body where the defender is, and as they're coming down with the ball, they're going to pull it to the left side to protect it from being swiped out, right? Defenders are taught to get in between your hands and break that ball loose. So you want to get it to the side where they can't do that by shielding it with your body. But again, high point that football. Okay, we got one more coming up here. Again, so this play, to set this up here, this is not the coverage we want. This is not the play we want to throw normally, but this is the last play of a half. So I told the quarterback here, I told Danny, I don't care if we throw an interception. I want a jump ball. Okay, so that was the premise behind the conversation going into this play. We had a timeout before. So actually right now, we probably shouldn't have thrown this football. It's underthrown, but that's okay because I want to jump football. And Blaze, again, at its highest point. Now, this is a really good example of how the defender is working just as hard as you. So if Blaze was going to had his hand leveled down here about half and he was waiting for it to drop in the bucket, this ball would have been tipped. This ball might have been intercepted. Either way, we're not coming down with the football. But because he's doing such a good job of attacking it at its highest possible point, we out-jump the defender and we come down with the football. Now, the only thing that would have made this a nicer catch, and I mean, hey, it's a touchdown and it puts points on the board, is right here. I would have liked to see him rip to this side of his body to avoid this player from swiping it through, right? So defenders, like I said, are going to try to come in between your hands and knock the football out. They can hit you as hard as they want once the football's caught. So something to note there. So again, catch the football at its highest point. Okay, we've got a drill for that too here. Okay, it's not a fancy drill, and it's an everyday drill. So we're going to have the ball go high, and the player's just running 50% towards you. Hands up, catch the ball. Now, really important here is this player's eyes. Eyes and chin, right? You can do it with your eyes or your chin, because where your chin goes or your face mask goes, so do your eyes. You want to have your head in a position where you can see the football, right? This isn't getting lucky. This isn't just plucking it out of midair. It's not two paddles that we're putting together above our head. Your eyes see the football. We catch the football, and we're going to bring it in, eyes to tuck, right there, okay? This is a drill I do every day. I go low, I go medium, I go high. I want to aim at the top of the helmet, and I want the player just to have to adjust their head to make sure they catch it at the highest point. What I don't want to do in this drill is I don't want this to be a super jump football. So I want the player to not have to leave his feet if he doesn't have to. Like in this case, he has to climb the ladder a bit. But if we're aiming for just the top of the helmet here, he can catch the football, pull it down, and keep running. The reason why we don't want to jump if we don't have to, or we don't want to jump if it's unnecessary, is because we lose our feet, and that causes us to lose speed and control. So don't jump if you don't have to. Eyes to tuck, and catch the ball at its highest point. At any point, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them. Looking it in. Okay, so next, I want to talk about catching the football with your hands and not your body. Okay, equipment causes the football to bounce or to get knocked up in the air, which can cause turnovers and drops. Okay, focus on using your hands in front of you. Squeeze the football as you look into the tuck. If anybody remembers a wrestler from the 90s, I'm sure some of the coaches might, but that's about it. Diamond Dallas Page, he used to always make a diamond with his hand. That's exactly how I want you to use your hands to catch a football. So when it's straight on, diamond in, hands far out in front of you, catch with your hands, bring it in, eyes to tuck. Okay? If you don't do this on a lot of these plays, they can be quite dangerous if we throw an interception. Okay? So this play especially, okay? So we're watching Ty Metcalf here. Really nice soft hands. We're going to see right here, his hands are in a really good position. Catches it, attacks the ball with his hands, eyes to tuck, and then turns it upfield. Okay? If he's not paying attention and it hits his shoulder and this ball goes up in the air, this player is gone for a pick six, right? There are two things you don't want to knock up in high school football, and football is one of them, right? So ball is up in the air, he can catch it, he can go all the way for a touchdown, okay? So that's why we want nice soft hands, eyes to tuck, catch the ball with your hands, look it into your body, okay? Quarterbacks tend to have to throw these ones relatively hard, right? They've got to get the ball out fast. They've got to get it to you quickly. If they do that and you're not ready and it hits you right in the chest plate or the helmet, the ball bounces up, we have a play that we don't like. Let's watch another example of that. Okay, we're watching Ben Oliver down here, kid at Bow Valley, Alberta Summer Games kid. Nice soft hands, makes the catch right there. So look how little time he would have if he didn't, okay? If this hits his equipment, again, we're looking at having nobody here to defend against this. We have a quarterback who might be able to stop this from being a pick six. So it's imperative when we're running short routes, when we're running slants, when we're running hooks, when we're running hitches, that we have to catch the football with our hands. Hands, go forward, okay? Remember, you're playing with body armor, and that body armor can make the ball bounce. Okay, now Ben turns and makes a really nice play out of this. Here's another really good example here. Blaze's hands are going to come right out. Now, a little bit different here, but again, good fundamentals. This becomes good muscle memory. If we do this all the time, we do this all the time, right? Looks it in, eyes to tuck, and he goes to make a move. Okay. Now, one of the drills that we've talked about to teach this, but I've got a better cut up of it. If you have a player who's really struggling with catching the football with their hands, or if you're a player that's has trouble themselves, this drill makes it impossible. So start with a goalpost here, 5 yards away. We're going to run a curl around, break down, nice soft football right here. So if you catch the ball with your body here, it's going to hit that post and bounce away, right? So watch this kid. He's going to cut, eyes on the football. See his eyes looking at the football. So important, so fundamental though, right? He's going to pass it back. Then he's going to come back and go from there. Repetition, it matters here. Okay, so doing this 100 times creates that muscle memory. Get strong hands and go from there. I think he does one more in the clip. Okay. In a game, catch the ball any way you can. If you have to trap it with your body, that's fine. But in practice, in warm-up, all the time, practice these fundamentals so they become second nature by the time we get to the field. Okay. Next, I want to talk. Oh, we got one more clip here. Let's go full speed. Catches the football. Okay, so next I want to talk about catching the football over your shoulder. So this goes really well with catching the ball high, but something else that I'd like receivers to understand, and young receivers especially, if the ball is over your shoulder, so if you're catching the ball with the ball coming down over your shoulder, I want your hands to be over your shoulder when you catch it, okay? Again, this is different from just high pointing it in a jump ball. This is high pointing it over your shoulder. What I don't want you to do is get used to that football dropping into the bucket, okay? I want you to take that bucket and move it to the football. So if the ball is over your shoulders, you should be catching the ball over your shoulders, okay? And again, focus on your hands making the catch, thrust them up as high as you can, and bring the ball in. So let's have a look at some of those here. Okay. Right here. Now, if you watch Blaze, hands are up. You see how extended he is, right? He's catching this football at his highest point, even though it's over his shoulder. He has a step on the DB, but if he were to wait for this ball to come down, this DB could close and knock it away, okay? He catches this nicely in stride, and we make a really nice gain. Over your shoulder, right? Ball's coming over your shoulder. Don't wait for it to drop. Thrust your hands up. Go get it. Okay. Now that ball was thrown a little bit deeper than Blaze was, so one could argue that he had to extend like that. So I have a couple more clips to show you. Okay. Same sort of thing. This one here, we're going to be looking at Tristan down here. Okay. Ball is up. Now he's in the clear here, but still good body fundamentals. See him catch the football. His hands are high. He's a little bit shorter than Blaze is, so it doesn't have the same vert. Ball is up. And you can actually see his head here look the ball in, and now he's off to the races, right? When you're this wide open, you don't want to wait to the last second, have it drop through and hit the ground, and then you've given up 7 points that your team desperately needed, right? You want to make sure we're getting all those fundamentals and catching the ball over your shoulder. Hands up, go and get it. I got one more clip here. Okay, again, same sort of thing. Ball is thrown. Ben catches it over his shoulder. His hands go up right here. Okay? So instead of waiting for it to come down here, he's catching it over his shoulder and bringing it in. Okay? So small details, but they can make a big difference of helping you catch this in stride and helping you get going. Ben makes some great yak yards because he's able to catch it in stride here. We had a really nice play out of that. But it all comes from that fundamental, getting your hands up and going from there. Okay. Let's run that. I got a drill here to show you to kind of narrow that down a little bit. So the drill that I like to run for this, okay? This kid's going to be running. We're going to throw it over his shoulder. Now, I wish I found better clips than this because this kid is not doing what I want him to do, but the drill is the same, okay? So right here, as the ball's coming, I want these hands to be higher up. I want him to catch it at a high point and not wait for it to drop in the bucket there, okay? Once we get a little bit more advanced with this drill, I'll set up a DB here, and what I'll do is I'll run him along with this player, and we'll have to catch it high once they have a guy running in stride. So they'll run 50%, put a nice high ball up, and he's got to go up and get it, okay? Might get a better look at it here. Better. Potentially here. There we go. See? Hands above his head. Tracks it in. Okay? Simple drill. Coaches you don't have to throw it hard. Just throw it high and let them chase it. So one more concept I want to talk about today, and then I'm going to get you out of here a little bit early, is make one move. So I've seen so many plays die because receivers try to make too many new moves. If you watch a 6-yard hitch, for example, you know, you'll catch the ball at 6 yards and the receiver will move back 2 yards trying to get downfield, and all of a sudden we have a 4-yard play when we really wanted to get a 6-yard play. Okay? So make one move. So we're going to watch this player down here. He was probably the best that I've coached at it in the last couple of years. Okay, so we're running a 5 route. He's coming back to the quarterback. He'll make the catch. He makes one move and gets vertical. Okay? It's not about dancing. It's about making that one catch and getting vertical. So I don't have a drill cut up for this. I couldn't find one, but coaches, what I like to do is set up a hitch drill. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards hitch, and then have a bag and drive off the outside shoulder of that player, have him spin and go. Okay, and that's exactly what happens here. Okay. For the most part, you don't want to spin inside because that's where the trouble's going to come, right? We want to spin outside and get upfield, right? But this is a play where first things first, let's not give up yards. What I mean by that is we've caught the ball here. Get rid of that. Okay, we've caught the ball at this yard line. Our move doesn't give up any yards. So what James was able to do was catch the ball here at the 22-yard line, and his move was flat and downfield. Okay, he didn't run this way to go this way, right? If he would have done that, he would have allowed this player and this player to come back into the play, right? Instead, he's able to turn it into a one-on-one matchup and get downfield. Okay, so what we don't want to do is dance. Your coaches have designed your playbook to get a certain amount of yards on each play. If we're running a 6-yard hitch, I guarantee you your coach is happy with you catching the ball and getting 6 yards. Okay, if you can get more than that, great, but don't give up yards to do it, right? Again, one more time because this is just such a nice play here. We're at the 22-yard line. We're still at the 22-yard line when we make our move. Okay? Did not give up any ground to make one move. And again, he's not dancing. He's making one move, gets to the end zone. Okay, another clip here coming up. By the way, this kid was like 5'2". Really exciting football player. Okay. Same sort of thing here, okay? We're going to run a hitch. Okay, so we've caught the ball here, and we don't give up any yards to make a move, right? This is your perfect example of a play. If we look here at the first down marker, we badly need to keep our distance here, okay? We needed to take 6 yards. We needed to take 5 yards. We've got it here. So if we make any more moves back, if he took a step back here and got tackled, we've now gone from 1st and 10 to 3rd and 1. There's no coach in the world that likes to be 3rd and 1, but there's every offensive coordinator in the world who loves to be 1st and 10. Okay? So even right here, we don't make a lot of extra yards, but we make 2 extra yards by making one move and going, right? Don't give up yards to make a play. Get downfield. This is a great example of a player who knew down and distance. He knew he needed to catch the ball, and he needed to keep his distance. He needed to keep his yards. It's hard to do sometimes. He fought hard for extra yards, but I'd rather take it from a 6-yard gain to an 8-yard gain than from taking it from a 6-yard gain to a 3-yard gain. Okay? So one move, get downfield. And I've got one more clip here, and then you guys are out of here. Okay? We're throwing to the wideout here. Okay, we're catching the ball on the, let's see where we catch it here. We're going to catch it, so it's a little bit shorter of a throw. We're going to catch the ball about 5 yards. The move is straight up field. Okay? That's all it is, right? Right here, we're happy with the distance we've got. We're now second and 6, we've gained 6 yards. We're 2nd and 4, maybe 2nd and 3. He makes one move to knife it up. Now, here's the benefit of making a move to go north-south is if you break a tackle and somebody misses, now we have a huge gain on our hands. This ended up being the game-winning touchdown in this game. And it came from a simple hitch and not moving backwards, right? Watch as he catches the ball. He keeps his ground. He's not moving back. He's not trying to shake and bake. He makes one move, and then he gets north-south, and then he breaks a tackle, and now he's off to the races. I guarantee you if he would have went back towards the quarterback or back towards the line of scrimmage, that play would have been tackled for a 3-yard gain, and now we're in 2nd and long, and we don't have the full playbook, right? So that's the importance of making one move and go as a receiver. Now with that, I'd like to open it up. Are there any questions from anybody on the call? Little different format today. I'm trying to switch it up to try to make sure that I'm talking about different things and fresh topics and new things here. Next week, we'll be talking on Tuesday and Thursday again. So I'll have more topics for you then. Otherwise, you guys can have a great night, and I will see you next week.